Hey everybody, welcome to your Halloween heavy metal horoscopes for this week. These are the horoscopes for the week ending on Halloween, 10/31/2015. If you're celebrating Halloween this week, of course, make sure you do it safely no matter how you are celebrating it. And above all, make sure that you have a good time because that's really what life is all about, right? It is all about having a super fantastic time. We're going to go ahead and get to the horoscopes because we got lots and lots of really awesome stuff happening this week, and we're going to get started as we always do with Aries. Now Aries, it's going to be a little bit of a difficulty, especially at the beginning of the week when the moon kicks off the week in your sign. And as she's moving into full position, the emotions are going to be intense, especially when it comes to emotional thoughts. And as she joins Uranus in her opposition with Mercury this week, for the last time, and then she's going to move out of that opposition next week, we are going to be faced with some very intense emotional thinking patterns. That's really the big thing for you guys this week, especially with this full moon. It becomes very high, very hot and intense. And in opposition with Mercury, it may feel like this emotional thought process is making it just absolutely impossible for you to communicate any of your needs, wants, or desires when it comes to fulfilling your goals and dreams. Now Uranus is also still squared with Pluto this week, and that's also going to make you feel like this inability to communicate is really going to have an effect on your own personal image, both in your own mind as well as others. And of course, it doesn't mean that others are going to have a different opinion of you personally or professionally. It just means that your own thought process is putting that fear into it. So this week, for the first couple of days of the week, it is going to be intense. It's in your best interest to take a step back from everything and work through this emotional problem within yourself. It's the only way to get past it and move on to be able to be the awesome ram that you know that you can be. And you know you want to get there. So try not to avoid these feelings, because doing that is going to make it keep going all through the week, and you don't want to do that. You want to knock it out in the beginning of the week and spend the rest of the week just doing whatever it is that you rams do best. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, the full moon in Taurus this week favors you Taurians, making a little bit of a difficulty, of course, because a full moon always means an opposition with the sun, and that does create some difficulties from time to time, but the moon is in so many beautiful aspects with other planets, including creating a beautiful grand earth trine. And these grand earth trines are what we need to get things done and get things accomplished. We're talking a grand earth trine here with Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Pluto. It's all about you. It's all about coming out into what you know that you're meant to do. And it's extremely favorable when it comes to getting things done, being productive when it comes to your day-to-day duties, and above all, making money. You know you love making money. And this week with this moon's aspect, as the moon continues that trine position throughout Wednesday, and she spends those 2 days in your sign this week, it really is all about getting out of your head and getting out of the worry place and being productive about making that money and getting those things that you need, that you feel you deserve to have in life. It's not just about getting what you need, it's about getting what you deserve. And you definitely deserve to have some fun time and spend some money on yourself for a change, and of course the people around you as well. So this week, the moon is this full moon is a beautiful energy for you guys to get started on some new things. Get started, get out of your heads, get out of the worry space, and get down to business about being productive, about getting what it is that you want, and knowing that you guys deserve to have it. So you guys have a great week with that. Gemini, how about kicking off the week with some luck, as the part of fortune is in your sign, shedding some luck when it comes to providing those people around you, bringing those people around you that you love to spend time with, as well as putting some luck into your day-to-day duties and getting things done. And being proactive is definitely one of the best things that you can do, especially for Geminis, because you're constantly moving and constantly needing to do something, right? It's a beautiful energy to kick off the week, and it's definitely well needed as the moon also comes into your sign this week and is really bringing some very challenging aspects, but very positive aspects at the same time. We're going to start off as she moves into your sign on Wednesday, and she does move into a T-square position with Neptune and Saturn, as unfortunately she's moving into opposition with Saturn, and that is going to create a little bit of a stickiness there when you find an old, difficult habit of feeling like you gotta work hard to get that reciprocation back from other people. But as she moves on and moves into trine position with Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, you're talking being able to make money too and make those changes within yourself that you need to make in order to see that it's really not about going overboard to get that love back from other people. If you feel that you have to work that hard in order to get that respect or that love reciprocated, then honey, it just isn't worth it. This is a big, huge lesson in your own personal power for you, taking you out of the needing that confirmation from other people and being able to give that confirmation to yourself. That's what's important. That's what's going to keep you in a mindset of success. That's what you're going to need in order to move forward from here. So this week it really is all about you. It's about owning your power. It's about knowing who you are and why you do the things that you do for other people. And if you're not getting that reciprocation back, you either need to demand it back or you need to walk away from that situation because it's clearly not resonating in your highest good. So you guys have a great week with that. Cancer, it's all about relationships this week, and these relationships may have you flying high again, or it may have you feeling like you really, really wish you could be in that space where you're flying high again when it comes to relationships. It is very much either or and not very much in the middle, I'm afraid, in this particular circumstance. But either way, whichever one you're going through, as the moon moves into her home sign on Saturday, a grand water trine is in effect for you guys. So whether it's going great or it's not going great, things are going to get even better. This is what this grand trine is all about. As she moves into grand trine position with the Sun, Mercury, and Neptune, it's all about busting the old myths about your relationships in order to be able to understand why these relationships are important to you, what you need to put into them in order to make them what they are, and above all, allowing the other people in those relationships to have a chance to put what they need to put into the relationship too at the same time. It's all about shining when it comes to your goals and dreams, your career, your relationships, I mean everything. It is a beautiful energy to end the week with, and it's also a beautiful energy, of course, for us to have on Halloween Day, which of course is when this is going to happen. So this week it really is all about taking a look at it for what it is, and when those old fears come up, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, it is time to focus on those old fears. Figure out what the root is, bust them out, because they're not going to help you in any future relationships from this point forward. So you guys have a great week with that. Leo, how about some lucky Leos this week? That's always fun to have some lucky Leos. And the part of fortune is going to be in your sign this week on Thursday and Friday, bringing some luck to you guys when it comes to your relationships and your finances. This is a perfect opportunity to spend some time with those that really mean something to you, and also have the money available to be able to spend a little bit of money having fun with these people in the process. Most of the time we live in a world where it's kind of like we're grinding away, trying to take care of our responsibilities. And though, you know, in a lot of cases this is how life is, that's not what life is all about. Sometimes you need to separate yourself from that and realize why you're doing this. What's the point of this grind in the first place? The point is to be able to take care of and enjoy those people around you and be able to spend a little bit of money and a little bit of time with them at the same time, because both can be equally important. Of course, spending time is the most important, but sometimes it's fun just to go out somewhere and spend some money on a nice dinner or a show or something like that. So this week, it really isn't about feeling guilty about doing that. It just simply means that right now, you need to do that because it is the reason why we toil every day anyways, right? In order to have some entertainment time, some celebration time, some, hey, look what I did, I'm succeeding in lifetime. Now let's go party time. Because really, that's what it's all about. And it also gives you a chance to slap on that crown. So you guys, have a great week with that. Virgo, this week, as Venus and Jupiter move into full conjunction with each other, it is helpful when it comes to your finances, but at the same time, as they're in opposition with Neptune, it could bring up those old bad habits of worrying about whether or not you are going to achieve the goals that you've set out to achieve. Now, of course, we all know that worrying doesn't do anything. In fact, you can manifest positively all you want, but if you're worrying about it, you've totally canceled out that manifestation altogether. And you've turned that manifestation into, I really don't want help from the universe, thank you very much. But this week, we're going to do something completely different. We're not just going to step out of that worry zone. We're going to make this happen. And it's a 3-step program for you guys. So the first thing, of course, that you want to do is set your intention. What is it that you want? And it's not about covering your needs. It's about covering your desires, too. Everybody deserves to have both if you put the work into it. That's how that works. So, of course, you make a wish for it. But you can't stop there. You have to keep going with it. The next thing, of course, is to set your positive manifestation of what it is that you want. You need money for whatever it is that you need or that you desire. And then you have to set your mind to be productive about getting that money. And when you do this, be open to the signs that the universe has to give you, because these are clues that are going to lead you into the direction of where this money is coming from. So this week, let go of the control, because that ultimately is what worry is. Let go of that control and be open to all the different possibilities of how life is leading you in the direction of getting you what you want, because it always has been. You just haven't always been open to the challenge, and you want to be open to this one. So you guys have a great week with that. Libra, Mercury is spending his last full week in your sign, about ready to say bye-bye next week. But in the meantime, his opposition with Uranus has you thinking some very negative thoughts, actually, about whether or not you can or cannot achieve your goals and dreams, or what you've set out to achieve at this time. And this is internal communication at its finest, really. When you look at a situation, of course, and you go straight to worrying about it, overthinking it, you tend to nitpick the little things, like maybe this won't work, maybe that won't work, or what if this doesn't work? And what you're doing is you're killing it before it's even gotten off the ground. Everybody goes to that point first and looks at the negatives before they look at the positives. This week is time to completely change that around. And with the dark moon in your sign, who wants change and in retrograde to boot, she's going to create these situations to make you make this change in your own mind, because this is where it begins. When you're faced with these situations, especially situations you've never dealt with before, you need to get away from what possibly can or cannot go wrong and look to what can go right, I should say. This is what it's all about. The more you nitpick at the things that may or may not work out, the more that thought is not even going to get off the ground. And if that thought can't get off the ground, it's not going to be a manifestation of your dreams and goals. It's going to sit where it is. You don't want it to sit where it is. You want it to move forward. So this week, when you have that negative stinking thinking start to come up, you need to put the stop sign up, say, I'm not going there, and change your thinking into a more positive direction. You never know. It just might be the one thing that you've been needing to do all this time, and it's the one obstacle that's standing in your way. So you guys have a great week with that. Scorpio, happy birthday to all the Scorpios born this week, especially the cutest little Scorpio that we know, our little blue-eyed nephew Brett, who we hope has an absolutely fantastic birthday this week, and hopefully we'll be seeing our little mini drummer here visiting Drummer Dave's studio pretty soon so he can wail on Uncle Dave's drums. But in any case, we're going to get right down to the horoscopes, and of course, we got the sun in Scorpio right now. And there is a full moon this week, so of course that means that there's a moon opposition there. But this is a very powerful full moon for you guys, it really is. Even though it seems to create a challenge, the sun's position, or trine position I should say, with Neptune is beautiful, because this full moon provides a bit of some emotion, some old stuff, some old emotions that are coming up. And they're coming up for a reason. It seems like a bad thing, but really it is a good thing. When these things come up, it gives you the opportunity to let go of some of these old anchors that are holding you back, and sets the stage for awesomeness from here on out. And you guys actually stepping into what you know you're meant to do. Everything that you do is a reflection of how you feel on the inside. And the more heavy you feel on the inside, and the more lack of love you feel on the inside, the more you're going to project that out around you. You want a typical, true, intuitive projection of love coming from you Scorpios, because that is what Scorpio is all about. So when these little things from the past come up, you simply have to look at them, embrace them, deal with them, kick them out and let them go, and let the universe turn that muck into something beautiful, because that is what the universe's energy does. And at the end of the week, on the beautiful Halloween day, as the moon moves into this aspect, turning this trine into a grand water trine, it's a beautiful opportunity for you to go lengths and distances that you never even thought possible when it comes to your own growth, your own security, your relationships, and above all, what it is that you truly are capable of doing. You're a powerhouse, Scorpios, and it's about time you saw it. So this week, it really is all about you. If you're feeling a little bit selfish, that's okay. It's not selfishness. It merely is loving yourself and respecting yourself enough to provide to yourself what it is that you need, regardless of what anybody has to say about it. So you guys, have a great week with that. Sagittarius, Saturn squared position with Neptune is really, really, really a heavy one this week, especially when it feels like you're still going through the same old problem that you just can't seem to get out of this issue, especially when it comes to receiving back what it is that you put out there into the world for everybody. And with Neptune's retrograde position, it really has you feel like you're sinking down into a black hole of your own emotions with your hands tied behind your back, and there's simply no way to get out of it. It sounds really bad now, but as we move into Wednesday, when the moon moves into a position to make this square a T-square, it makes it even worse, unfortunately, as you're actually looking at all the things that you do for everybody else, but it just seems that life keeps coming back and slapping you with this lesson. The lesson it really makes you feel like you just don't deserve to get anything back. Your job is to put out to everybody else and not get back what you deserve, or not get back anywhere close to what it is that you're putting out there to the rest of the world, unfortunately. It is a nasty, nasty, nasty aspect, but of course it has a very heavy lesson. When you're talking about success is not defined by having everything handed to you and just go ahead and do it, you know? It doesn't work that way. You have to wade through blood. You have to wade through the muck. And the only way that you're going to get through that muck is to really focus on the light at the end of the tunnel, rather than what you're going through right now, rather than the muck. Because it feels like you're walking through quicksand, and the more you're focused on that quicksand, and the more you're focused on the fact that you're angry about that quicksand, the more that quicksand is going to suck you down. However, if you're focused on the light at the end of the tunnel, you're not even worried about the quicksand. All you're doing is consistently putting one foot in front of the other, no matter how hard it is, to get to that end result. That is the true definition of success. Nobody is really successful when it's given to them. So this week, it's all about accepting your walk, because this is part of your walk right now. What is it that you have not yet looked at on an internal level inside of yourself? This is the anchor that keeps you from being able to move out of this consistent problem that happens over and over again. And once you can identify that, there's nothing holding you back after that. So you guys have a great week with that. Capricorn, Pluto's absolutely amazing trine with Jupiter, Venus, and Mars this week shows you what a powerhouse of change you are when it comes to being able to make money. So the energy that you put into making money, the energy and the love that you put into expanding your bank account. Now we all know that when it comes to money, Capricorns are the kings and queens of making and managing that. But we're not just talking about managing, we're talking about expansion, because that's what Jupiter's all about, is about making things bigger. Now, that squared position that Pluto's in with Uranus is going to have those old negative thoughts trying to creep their way into this process, kind of sort of trying to steal your thunder and telling you that you're not going to be able to make that money. But who holds the power in these thoughts anyways? Is it your brain, or does the brain run itself? It's your brain. You have the power. So kick those negative thoughts right to the curb, because we don't need any of that nonsense right now. It is all about what you are capable of doing. And you know what you're capable of doing, so do it. And enjoy every second of it while you are. Even if you feel like celebrating, go ahead. Throw yourself a party. You're not throwing a pity party. You're throwing an I'm awesome party. And you guys deserve it. So you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, when it comes to memories of the past, specifically the not so good memories of the past, they tend to creep up from time to time out of this abyss of emotion that typical Aquarians stuff way, 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 way down so deep that they hope that it doesn't exist anymore, which is a lie. I'm an Aquarian, and I know it's a lie. But these old things will pop up regardless of how far down you bury them. And this week, that is what it's all about for you guys. It is about these things coming up. And of course, they're coming up for a reason. These old memories are actually little roots that turn into anchors that keep you from being able to move forward in your goals. And whatever those goals happen to be at the time, whether they're professional or personal goals. And these memories are usually around emotional situations or failure situations where you didn't exactly succeed in what it was that you set out to get. Now, of course, we've always gone through this in the past. These types of memories, of course, have valuable lessons in what not to do in the current situation. Obviously, that didn't work. You want to change it up. But not only that, these memories also, or these feelings, need to come out. They need to come out and be released into the universe to be turned into a positive manifestation rather than a negative anchor that's holding you back. So this week, as uncomfortable as it may be, it really is all about letting those things come up, letting them process, embrace them, know that it happened for a reason, it had a lesson to teach you, understand what the lesson is as much as you can, and then let that mess go, because you don't need it anymore. It diminishes your power, and you're Aquarians. Nothing should be diminishing your power. So you guys have a great week with that. And finally, Pisces. Neptune's aspects are definitely heavy, especially her squared position with Saturn. When you start, it just starts to make you feel like you don't deserve the support from others that you crave oftentimes. And this aspect, of course, is challenging you to give that support to yourself if you are not giving that support to yourself. And there's about 1,000 ways that you can do that. But of course, this situation is only going to get worse by Wednesday as the moon moves into position to form a T-square with these two planets. And now it feels like there's nothing you can do to make people happy. I mean, it's just, you will kill yourself to try and make everybody happy, and it's just working in the reverse. This aspect is providing for you a very clear lesson. The more you do to try and make everybody else happy, the less happy they're going to be. And unfortunately, even though logically it doesn't seem like it should work out that way, that's always how it works out, especially for the emotional water signs, because you just want love, you just want appreciation, you just want respect and support, and you give it out to everybody else. But unfortunately, they get your love and support, they appreciate it, and then they disappear until they need it again. You want to get yourself out of this situation like pronto, because it's not working for you. Now, the good news is that this week ends in a beautiful, awesome way, as Neptune moves into trine position with the sun, and as the moon moves into Cancer, it creates a grand water trine between these planets, and Mercury's moving into that aspect too. Now we're talking about taking peeling these old layers off and building ourselves a structure, a new foundation for success when it comes to your goals and dreams, when it comes to your relationships, and even when it comes to your career. It's taken all of these things, these emotions, and putting them into something that is going to work for you, rather than allowing them to carry you through the current and just kind of sort of float along with them. You don't want to do that. Of course, our feelings have a purpose. Annoying most of the time is how they feel, but really they do have a purpose. They're showing you your own internal self. They're showing you where you need to give yourself that love and respect, not try and get it from other people. And the more you can do this, the more powerful and successful you can be, and you definitely deserve to have that power and success. So you guys have a great week with that. Thanks so much for listening to the horoscopes this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Hey, don't forget to check out the Heavy Metal Psychic on Friday nights, every Friday night on www.paramaniaradio.com at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, especially this week when I, the Heavy Metal Psychic, combined with The Haunted Chronicles and Beyond the Stars with Vicki Johns for 1 2-hour Halloween special extravaganza show. It's going to be absolutely awesome, and you definitely don't want to miss out, because when all the other hosts of other shows get together, we just love to bring you guys the craziness, if you know what I mean. So it's going to be a lot of fun, it's going to be a lot of crazy, and it's just 2 hours of awesomeness, if you ask me. Again, I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thanks for watching this week, and you guys have an awesome week.